All right, so in 2013, roughly 50 million Americans lived in food insecure households, which means that they don't have access to enough food. This included roughly 30 million adults and roughly 16 million children. My name is Ben Corbett, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about volunteering for the Capital Area Food Bank here in Austin, Texas. I had the pleasure of volunteering with them this past week. It was a really, really great experience, and I kind of wanted to tell you guys a little bit about it and maybe convince you to try it out yourself. It's a really easy and fun way to volunteer and make a difference in the community. So, to give you a little bit of a background about the Capital Area Food Bank, they're the largest hunger relief charity in Central Texas. Their mission is that they share free food and knowledge and healthy eating with families in need of food. Those families I referenced earlier, the insecure households, they call them. They make it easy for the families to participate with the federal assistance programs as well, not just with their programs. And they make their food affordable for charitable and government partners that come and get food from them and distribute it how they see fit. So the food bank feeds roughly, you can see on your sheet that I handed out, about 46,000 people 46,000 people every week. That includes families, stuff like that. And before I went and volunteered there, I mean, everybody thinks that hunger is something that a developing nation would struggle with. Countries in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, stuff like that, South America. But if you refer to the handout I gave you as well, the United States has 14.6% of the families here and the people have food insecure households, and there are about 8 states that really kind of like stand out with having really bad rates, and Texas is in the top 3 with 18%, which is over the United States average. I highlighted them both in bold. So I think that volunteering for the food bank, or even an organization like that, but here in Austin would be the food bank, is really valuable. These families get a lot of help from the government. They get like the SNAP program, food stamps, stuff like that, debit cards they can use at HEB, any other grocery store. But that has its positive side where they have food, money to get food, but it also has a negative side, which the food that they buy is not really controlled, and a lot of the food they buy is cheap, so they can use that money more effectively. But that cheap food also isn't as nutritious. It's not as good for you. A lot of it's frozen, processed, you name it. So working at the food bank, I realized like the quality of food there is a lot better. Yes, they have like macaroni and cheese and stuff like that, but it's not a lot of frozen products. It's a lot of fresher products, non-perishable items that you buy in the grocery store if you went. So when I was there were about, I'd say 30 or so volunteers, and probably 20 some of them were college students. A couple from St. Ed's, and then a lot from UT. And some adults, but it was like a really diverse crowd. It was a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, we ended up doing a ton of food in a very short amount of time, and it really felt good. I forget the exact amount of families that we were fed, but it was roughly, I think, about 6,000 pounds, which is a lot of food. And there are a lot of organizations that you can donate to where you can give money, but not all that money ends up on people's tables. And that's really why I want to emphasize volunteering for this program, is because when you go and you donate food and you volunteer and you help package that food and make sure that it gets shipped out and parties, distribute that to families, everything you do is going directly to the people that you're trying to help. Whereas if you donate, 10, 15, 30 bucks to a cause to buy food, some of that, goes to their overheads. It's really easy to volunteer, which is, I can't stress enough how nice that was for me. I've volunteered before in the past, and a lot of times you have to kind of jump through hoops and fill out a lot of paperwork and get on a waiting list, and it's difficult to kind of work your way in. And with Capital Area Food Bank, you just go online, create a username and password, and there's a whole list of things you can do. I worked in the warehouse, packing boxes, stuff like that, in a big assembly line. And it was short. It wasn't, it flew by. I thought 3 hours in front of an assembly line would be a really long time. It really wasn't. I felt like I was in and out, and I did a lot of really good things while I was there. And it was a really good experience for me, and I think it's something that everybody should try. especially because you can just go and sign up, and it's only a couple hours out of your day, but you make a huge difference in that couple hours. Anyway, so I just wanted to recap. I talked to you guys about, the hunger problem that we have here in the United States and the ways that, we're fixing it now. But I think that if we, like, my idea for the future would be that if more people donated food, spent their time volunteering, that number would diminish. If we add the manpower and we add the food itself to these organizations, that they can grow and expand and we can feed more and more people. It's easier on the organizations, it's easy for you to do, and it's easier on the people who get the food because they're getting their food, and more of them can get it. Anyway, thank you guys for listening and participating. If you guys have any questions?